time again?
It's that time again.
Okay, I guess it's that time again.
Let's put on our costumes for the new Bronies React. Yeah!
Custom animation and everything.
If you're ever down on your luck, remember, I'm a guy wearing a Sailor Moon outfit, watching My Little Pony, and calling myself a professional brony. Alright? Can't get much lower than that.
Yeah, sure, because you could be the guy doing a ripoff of a much more successful series by talking about the professional brony in the Sailor Moon outfit. I'd say that's a lot lower.
Hey guys, it's me, Rainbow Dash, aka Best Pony.
No argument here.
Let's see if I'm packed. Rubber ducky?
Pinkie Pie noises.
Hello. Little Shy isn't available for this reaction, so I'll be taking his place. I'm inconspicuous background pony number 83.
Hey, that pony has a name, you know. It's apparently Applebottom. Or Silver Frames. Or... Can I just say how weird it is that this community has come up with names for literally every single character that has ever appeared in the series?
Equestria Girls 4.
Sketchy the Changeling.
Da-na, da-na, da-na. I'm a shark.
How is it possible to mess up the editing this badly? This title is meant to go here. You missed by literally almost half a minute.
Thou shalt not complain endlessly about Flash.
Yeah, the guy does get a bad rap, doesn't he?
Super spoopy in here.
Yeah, so I can't wait to see this Everfree Northwest video they keep talking about.
Wait, who are these guys again? I can't quite tell through their costumes.
Another Bronies React to the ill-advised Equestria Girls movies.
Can't even make a joke here, that costume looks freaking amazing.
Every time I see something I don't like, I'm going to take off a piece of this armor, which is extremely hot and heavy. And I'm expecting to be fully out of this thing within the first 4 minutes.
Spoiler alert, it takes in the whole movie. He might not say he likes it. I'm gonna bleep that out. Why? Why did I go there? What was wrong with me?
Okay, you got me. I just wanted to reuse my Doctor Who opening.
Sorry, mate, the Halloween costumes are in the other video I'm talking about.
And for everybody at home who's wondering how we got back onto this series...
The fact that you were breakout stars of the last time wasn't the reason? Did you see how many awesome points I gave you guys in my last video? Oh, I can already tell maximum effort is going into this one.
Oh, hello! I know what you're thinking. Whose did I have to get on Bronies React? Well, it's a long story, but the short answer is pretty much everyone who's ever been on Bronies React. Yeah, that was a long weekend.
You know, despite being a reference to the film, I actually prefer this version of the joke than the one in the movie. The punchline's funnier, the censorship beeps actually add to the humor, the way the music cuts off right before it's just so much better, okay?
No, it can't be. It isn't true.
This isn't actually one person in particular right now, but I wanted to point this out. Here's the Analyst Bronies jokes.
No, I never cheated on that math test in 7th grade.
I'm somehow friends with a bunch of impromptu demigods that baffles the very face of science.
And here's the Bronies React jokes.
4 Equestria Girls movies.
Not a fourth movie! No, not a fourth movie, no! No!
So, plus points for variations, and sin points for repeating the same tired joke multiple times. Except for James's version. That one was actually hilarious.
For someone who knows magic exists, there's a lot of science stuff going on in Twilight's bedroom.
Before I continue, how much stuff actually is in her room? Okay, yeah, that is quite a lot. Still not as much as some of the stuff in you guys' rooms. But getting back to the actual point, why exactly does the existence of magic somehow negate science? Or did you somehow forget that Twice scienced herself up a magic absorption device in the last movie?
I can't believe I overslept!
I can believe I overslept.
Me neither. That's not like you.
Question. Where are Twilight's parents?
Considering in the last movie we saw Twilight literally living in the school's basement, I honestly just assumed this was some form of student housing. Not that it even makes any difference considering what happens in the next 2 minutes, but still.
Excuse us, 6 friends of your daughter who saved the world 3 times using crazy magic that nobody ever questions coming through!
That's one super efficient pillow.
The movie cleverly hints that it's actually a dream sequence, and how, you know, Pinky is kind of like the voice in your head that tells what you honestly want to say. And because of that, you know, she is the one who admits that Twilight hates her alarm clock.
First off, spoilers. 2. Pinky calling out her alarm clock hints jack all to the fact that this is a dream, as that is something perfectly in character for Pinky. 3rd, the idea you're talking about of the outside world constructing itself in a dreamscape only takes effect when you can subconsciously perceive the outside world. Twilight is on a bus. And above all else, even if we do momentarily humour the concept that Pinky is apparently a manifestation of Twilight's id, the actual proper revelation of the dream world includes Pinky being vaporized along with the rest of the girls. If this metaphor was real, Pinky would end up being either the source or at the very least immune to this metaphor of Twilight's subconscious, rather than a victim of it.
Wait a minute, fill my cup, put some nigga in it.
There's your definitive proof that aside from cadence and rarity, absolutely no girl on this show wants the dick! Sorry about that.
Smart thing cutting out there, because I've seen plenty of proof that they do. What is wrong with me?
If we were going to the moon, I'd insist she packed an evening gown.
Somebody call Elon Musk because I am ready for Mars.
Deadpool in a suit.
Am I the only one who's already having the issue where I'm trying to remember which Twilight and which Spike we're looking at here?
You know what, Race? I think I can honestly say that you are literally the only person on the planet that is having trouble. Everyone else has got it.
Midnight Sparkle!
Do they legit just know what she's called, Midnight Sparkle? I don't remember if they actually called her that in the last movie.
And you would be correct. You see, Razor? This is good foreshadowing, not whatever you were talking about.
I know, they're all dead.
This time, I won't stop until I have all the magic!
Bad touch. Bad touch.
I'm gonna have to cut forward a little bit, but this is just too perfect.
Twilight, wake up!
Stop! Wait a minute, fill my cup, put some nigga in it.
Sorry, couldn't resist.
How's Spike talking? I thought everything got reset after the fabric of the universe has fixed itself.
Which would make sense if that was actually what caused Spike to start talking in the first place, and not an interaction with the jackalope over a day earlier.
Normally I'd be complaining about the cliché dream sequence, but it actually does a good job at setting things up and establishing Twilight's struggle and forcing the audience to ask questions we hope to have answered by the end. Never thought I'd say this, but good job so far, Equestria Girls?
We're gonna roast marshmallows and eat marshmallows and sleep on marshmallow pillows! You're going to do what to me?
Thank you for corrupting that sentence for me. I really need to have that meaning ingrained whenever I rewatch this movie.
Just to point it out once again why this high school setting is still a little bit weird, Sunset Shimmer acts a lot more mature. She is like, she has the empathy, she is like, she wants to say something, so obviously the average pony, like Sunset Shimmer, is a lot further in the development when they reach this age.
Except that when you look back at the progression within the films, in the original film, Sunset was quite profoundly not anything like that in the slightest. The idea of having empathy has nothing to do with age. You can have children showing concern for parents, friends, even strangers, and you can have adults that have the emotional sympathy of a rake. Emotional maturity is something that people develop at different rates, so the fact that Sunset was showing concern for Twilight here has basically nothing to do with the fact that she grew up in Equestria. She's just learned to be more in tune with the emotional states of people than the others around her. And considering that in this scene she's being compared to...
We are gonna have so much fun!
Well, it's not really that much of a contest now, is it?
We just wanted to say how proud we are of you for raising enough money to go on this class field trip.
Seatbelts, everyone!
When we were your age, we made some of our favorite memories in these woods.
And with that one line, all the clap artists went crazy.
As if they needed prompting.
We had so much sex.
Welcome to my reaction.
Opening song has some nice guitar, and it feels very much like a campfire song to better fit the environment. I'm just not that into the lyrics.
Because campfire-style songs are known for being lyrical masterpieces?
Did you guys ever realize that since this Ghost music video became so popular, there is a lot of bouncing whenever music is playing?
The way this bus is bouncing reminds me of those stupid wheels on the bus videos on YouTube that, for whatever reason, have like 1 billion views.
You're being condescending, but nowadays, these are the videos that have 1 billion views each. 2016 had a lot more sanity in it than we all thought.
No, Badfoot. We hate Equestria Girls. Stop tapping.
Oh, of course, he's got to keep that image up. Don't worry, Little Shy. I know the truth.
As you join in the legend of Everfree.
What is this intro song, like Mumford & Sons?
It's a very Mumford & Sons intro, don't you think?
Alternatively,
It actually reminds me a lot of the band Fun, and if you listen close, you actually can tell it's in the same key as Some Nights.
and now with that prompt,
impressed with the visuals for the opening credits. I mean, previous films had far more going on, far more flair and creativity, especially Rainbow Rocks.
if they did have a Rainbow Rock style introduction and then did nothing but sit in camp for the whole movie, then people would be complaining that the introduction was not representative of the actual movie. What exactly do you want from them here?
Okay, I am gonna need a restraining order on that pink shimmer. It has been following us since school.
Hopefully this movie is just like the Lohan Parent Trap, where we're gonna have a strip poker game. Yeah? Yeah? They had that. On the Disney Channel.
Technically it wasn't a strip poker game, but I still get your point. 90s Disney films could get strange.
No offense.
Oh, fuck!
Will we ever get rid of this joke?
Oh my gosh, are you seriously still doing the no offense thing?
You can call your jets people, it's clearly there just to be a callback to Rainbow Rocks. Well, except for Gabe. His hatred amuses me.
They're all about legs.
Have you seen Celestia?
No, I've seen her legs though.
Oh, I really need to get around to talking about friendship games so I can talk about this.
I think we should have a count every time we do a raunchy joke.
That's a good idea.
Okay, chalk one up.
Ah, see if we got the little machine that goes ping.
Yup, I love the machine that goes ping.
Hey, I got one of those too.
Hey kids, feeling bored by this movie already? Then have I got the game for you. It's called Count the Questionable Meme Faces. Whenever you see a single frame in this picture that seems the slightest bit odd for a kid's movie, good for you, because Derpy Boar will probably...
You do realize the amount of frames that the internet has the ability to take out of context is going to amount to, 40% of the entire damn film?
Gonna be nice getting away to a place where we don't have to worry about that kind of stuff.
Oh my goodness, it's Applejack's favorite dish! Slow roasted irony!
And we don't know each other very well.
Yes, now go the away.
Cool story, bro.
Go away!
The thirst is so real.
All your A. Lamaus are belong to Harambe Lit, fam. Look how hip I am.
And you're still cooler than I am.
Ooh! Smooth, bruh!
It's like falling for one twin and then meeting the other one who is kind of similar but not. Okay, you still are very superficial if you just go by this.
I really don't get this logic. If you find somebody attractive, you're going to find someone that looks exactly the same as them to be just as attractive. Now if you went, well, you look the exact same, so you're perfectly interchangeable, then I could accept calling him superficial, but that's not what's happening here.
He lost his wife and he's going through withdrawal.
See, that's kind of depressing. You got Flash, who loves Twilight, but really he's in love with the pony version of Twilight. He's a closet brony.
The thing is, both of those terms, and yes, I did see where you were going with that line, but both of those terms aren't actually relevant because he is specifically in love with the human version of Twilight. He hasn't actually seen her in her original form, so there's nothing really that strange about it.
Flash is a grown man in love with horse girls. Probably just wanted to see her knee, kid.
You may have recognized your mistake, but that doesn't mean you didn't make it.
And this is my brother, Timber Spruce.
Okay, so last names clearly don't work the same way in this universe.
Yes, only in this world do they not make sense.
Think of me as that awesome guy, who should always be invited to fun things.
I think I blocked Timber on Facebook.
You see, your problem is that you're using Facebook.
Basically what they're hearing is, hey everyone, awesome guy.
Like your girl's pillow fights.
That will be in my nightmares tonight.
Except hike near the rock quarry.
That's where the elephant graveyard is.
You must never go there, Simba.
No. Put it away, get it away. I am not doing that again. I already said we already got enough damn counters. We don't need another.
Archery! Of course! Tetherball! Naturally!
Pokemon Go! Netflix and chill! A Fight Club!
Fine. Let's do some American activities. Frickin', you know, sleeping. This is a bed. Well, those are my stuffed animals.
I can see Black Griffin sleeping with those.
I do make a mean sugar cookie.
I'm still watching a family-friendly movie, right?
Well, I think I found your questionable Deppy Bory fan.
She makes one mean sugar cookie, and the rest of them are pretty nice.
Anything you need?
I know what Twilight would like to do. Him. Thank you. I'll be here for the next however much longer this video is. I can't be that meta.
The trick is to take a hint from automatic responses, and just have every possible number recorded so that during editing you can just splice it right in, and then it would work perfectly.
I wonder how Gabe's taking this.
Meanwhile, in Black Griffin's bedroom...
This is gonna freaking suck for Flash!
Huh. That is not the outrage I expected.
The sundial was our year's gift.
Even though some people thought it was a little impractical since a sundial can't be used at night.
Dang, Luna, would you like some pepper with that salt? But seriously, could this be foreshadowing? Maybe Nightmare Moon is a thing that hasn't happened in the human world yet. Equestria Girls 5. I'm calling it.
Well, I got a fanfiction to write.
Pause. Let's talk about Luna's outfit for a second. Boy, why is Luna out here dressing like a discount Pokemon trainer?
Guys, you're with me!
Excuse me. Where did the Apache attack helicopters go?
I get where the humor was, but nowadays jokes like that just make me sad. Oh, a modern political climate, why must you be comprised of nothing but idiots?
Me too!
If this would be board game night, Timber and I would have a little chat about shuffling the deck properly.
I got amethyst.
Me too.
Maud Pie jokes.
Flutter Scratch. Or Vinyl Shy. Nah, it'll never catch on.
Yeah, let's see what the internet has to say about... Oh. No, you're right, it really didn't catch on, did it?
These without chromium?
Whoa! Are you actually having a conversation?
You know, I should sin them for the campy overacting, but... No, this is pretty much the appropriate reaction to this happening.
Oh, Twilight, you're such a nerd!
I'm just leaving the top quote from the video right here. Well, someone's enjoying this a lot.
Damn, his eyebrows are on fleek.
That was a really bad pickup line, guys. That was really bad. It was really bad. I didn't want to take off a piece of armor, but I only have 3 left before I actually have to start stripping.
And much like Twilight from earlier, I can promise that many people would like to see that.
Oh, great. The reason Flash had to be pushed aside was so this Timber guy could step in.
You know what, Doc? I'm sensing some apprehension on your part, and I don't particularly care for it.
I need something.
Filthy Rich!
Okay, I can accept that name as a pony, but as a human being, that name only works if you're starring in a Donald Trump porn parody.
Oh, Filthy Rich. Thanks, Celestia, you're here. Please save us from this summer romance.
Seriously, lower the volume of the main video when you do your voiceover. This is Commentary Editing 101. How do you not know this?
Why does the Equestria Girls version of Filthy Rich look a lot like Ganondorf?
So we go from Trump to Nintendo. We are getting a wide range of references here.
I am the Republican candidate running for this here office.
And we're right back to Trump for the second video. I wonder if Saber voted Republican in the 2016 election.
No. This is not Filthy Rich. Filthy Rich in the show was a very welcome change to the typical, oh, rich and evil guy singing. No, he was a sympathetic guy, even so he had money.
So I'm saying this right now. I completely agree with everything that's being said here. However, there is a different angle I want to add onto this conversation, but I'm going to have to wait until later on when this point is brought back. So, moving on.
We're supposed to be roughing it.
Did you just say we're supposed to be rubbing it?
Damn it, Gabe.
Even if we are in the middle of the woods.
Why, one would consider oneself lucky to be wearing it. And now I'm starting to sound a lot more like David Attenborough.
Attenborough, on point.
Just as long as you don't put me in one of your fancy pants outfits. You're gonna, aren't you?
No.
This movie's pretty good so far, but even if it ends up sucking, that 36 seconds of Rara Jack was totally worth it.
Something's telling me that Sketchy really enjoys Roller Coaster of Friendship.
That was weird back there, right? With that guy, Filthy Rich?
You don't think it was weird back there when, the music just started randomly playing when I turned on the flashlight, did you?
Nah, that's just incidental music.
They burst into song on a weekly basis. They're just used to it by now.
Great, now the fandom has another Wi-Fi stealer. Wait, Wi-Fi? What? Damn typos.
If you think that's bad, here's what my script looks like. And no, this is actually what my script looks like. It's not edited at all. I'm honestly just that bad at typing.
Everyone from CHS has been really nice and accepting.
Because they like your ass.
Comedically timed pause, or just poor editing?
Principal Cinch is the one who encouraged you to try and use all that magic to win the games for Crystal Prep.
Exposition,
And cue the Princess Bride clip.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Why are you saying that like it's a bad thing? Like, yeah, if there was like 5 straight minutes of exposition, that would be understandable, but it's 2 lines. Why is that somehow a crime?
You guys come in or what?
I mean, we would be if you'd give us some privacy. Shut up! You were thinking it! You were all thinking it!
Want to put on some sunscreen?
Sunscreen shimmer!
Was that so effective?
You're yellow. Why would you need to put on sunscreen? How does skin pigment work in this universe exactly?
I would like to thank DHX for providing an actual answer to this question. Now all I need to do is get around to actually watching that damn short.
Found it!
I wish I could levitate things, and then I could get my water without doing this.
Did you consider opening it beforehand?
I mean, we've all ponied up before.
And that's the 3rd time we've tried getting a counter in. How many times do I need to say we don't need another one?
No!
Maybe it's her!
I love how a recurring subplot is Twilight's own sanity.
It makes for effective internal conflict. I'm down with it.
I think you're just gonna have to pick it up.
Only in Equestria Girls would Spike be my favorite character.
I feel that's supposed to be insulting to something, but I can't quite figure out what.
I feel so bad for her. I mean, she used to be a unicorn, and not just any unicorn, but a really talented one. For those who don't know, there was actually a song, or a second half of a song in the last movie, which was ended up on the cutting floor, where she was actually missing her magic, and it's a little bit now a callback to this.
I appreciate you bringing attention to that. The one they use in the film isn't bad by any means, but the duet is just so much better.
Because if there is anything I can do to make this week the best week ever, you just let me know. I've got this.
I'm the villain!
That has got to be the worst Nostalgia Critic parody I've ever seen. Also, wasn't this re-uploaded after the change of the channel controversy? Why is this line still in?
A blowjob.
Damn it, guys, why do you make me do this?
People that chipper make me nervous. I guess not all people.
Well, there is the exception to every rule. Sketchy.
Reactor interactions.
Goodies are available every day until sunset.
Rocking the glasses.
Whoa. I know I'm charming, but you don't have to fall for me.
Oh, off!
Ow! Ow!
Oh my...
I will never get tired of watching people react to that line. You guys have no right to be facepalming right now.
So you're saying I just need to get over her?
Kinda, yeah.
He had an actual human conversation with another human being! My flash issues! They've evaporated! I can enjoy these movies again!
Welcome back. Okay, that sounded a lot creepier than I intended it to. Okay, moving on.
Okay, if I can be genuine for 10 seconds, I really do like how they set up, addressed, and immediately got rid of that cliché jealousy plotline you always see in shitty romantic comedies. Now that that's over...
Legitimate critique with meta reactions? Wait, please, stop. My heart can only take so much.
Yeah, get over it. You'll never be accepted by the fandom. Except for some people.
Yes, those are called your fellow reactors.
Damn.
He needs to get with Sunset again.
No.
I agree with James on this one. But mostly because I have my own headcanon crack ships.
Flash Sentry just realized that he has no hopes of getting with Twilight Sparkle. The person that makes him realize this is her humanoid lesbian partner who's realized the same thing. Therefore, Sunset Shimmer and Flash Sentry, who both were banging Twilight, are now gonna bang each other.
I suggest we close down the dock for the remainder of the camp.
Luna, what have they done to you? You used to be an awesome character with a great villain backstory, and now you're just a petty, bureaucratic soccer mom. This is why I love Equestria Girls.
In their defense, most of that simply comes down to a lack of any meaningful screen time. Really, both of the princesses in EQG are basically under the same type of writing problems that Celestia was in the original seasons. Just more exaggerated because they aren't directly integrated into the lore to give them something to make them interesting. We know that they're in charge, and that's about all we know about them. We don't even know if they're actually sisters in this universe. That's like a big part of their characterization that is never actually brought up in any of these films. And since most of EQG as a franchise up to this point has been either focused on Twilight or Sunset of varying degrees at different times, there hasn't really been that much of a chance to give anyone outside of those two any character that isn't just directly in your face. And since I don't want either of these two been defined in the same way that... well, we'll get to that later on. But yeah, if the options are between waiting a little bit longer or having that, I'm perfectly fine waiting for a while.
But we're Canterlot Wondercolts. We've got a reputation to uphold.
Oh no, she said the R word. That can only mean... reputation!
That's some tension, all right.
Stop that!
I was certainly not expecting a Road to El Dorado reference.
Alright, I'll give it this. There's a lot of moments which only make sense after seeing the end, so that kind of makes this the most rewatchable Equestria Girls movie yet, so... yay?
You are really trying hard to hate this film, aren't you?
Playing with his wood in public like that?
Yeah, you probably shouldn't be tugging on your wood like that, bulk biceps.
And we'll make an absolutely perfect runway for my camp fashion show!
I literally thought she was gonna say something that wasn't fashion.
I haven't commented on it yet, but watching Viola slowly lose his mind over Rarity's poor characterization is just... it's fantastic to behold.
I've never seen anybody so excited for adult supervision.
That's a good line.
Lanterns out of solar-powered garden lights. Pretty crafty there, Timber.
You think that's crafty?
Wait till I see how I get you in my bed.
I need to make GIFs out of Laura's reactions. They would be perfect for me.
You should see my macaroni art. I'm like the Picasso of noodles.
I just watched a boy try to woo a girl with macaroni art.
And it was fantastic.
Insert penis joke here.
Anyone else have a spooky story?
How about the tale of the rabid Starlight haters? Oh shit, is Will in this React video?
The joys of differing perspectives.
You might as well hug a friend now. Had jagged rock teeth.
This is the Kim Possible meme all over again. If you pause it right here, her mouth looks like a mustache.
I'm sorry, but no matter how hard I try, I cannot see what you're talking about.
You have extra toothbrushes? I forgot mine.
Could be worse. They could be Ma Hooffield's teeth.
Great, now I've got that image stuck in my head. Damn you, Sketchy!
They're trying to make fun of his hygiene, but he's literally asking for it.
Weird background noise.
Asking for.
Of course! I got this!
Should I even bother putting up a counter every time she says, I got this? You know it's only gonna go up, people!
Yes, that is what counters generally do. Don't worry, though. I'm already keeping track internally.
Maybe lay off bringing up what happened at the friendship games. I think she's still pretty sensitive about it.
What also shows what a strong personality Sunset has, because now we see a direct contrast how somebody else goes through similar things she went through in the second movie, and how Twilight handles this completely differently.
I know, it's actually character-driven storytelling, and it's fantastic.
I'm always here!
Always here!
What happened?
Sunset's out here looking like Mr. Magoo.
Wow, how many kids are going to be getting that reference? I barely get that reference.
Ha! I can relate. That's how I wake up too. Except I'm holding a gun. And a sword. And my huge...
Damn it, James.
She's not that great at blowing.
Are ACRacebest and Fire Team Harmony just having some sort of competition to see who can make me groan in anguish the most?
If you could learn to control it.
But that's just it. I'll never be able to control it.
So I shall go on pretending like my magic doesn't exist, because that strategy is working.
You say that as though a panic-driven, self-conscious teenager is going to be thinking logically about things.
Spirit, show yourself. The great and powerful Trixie commands it.
Yeah, our 1 cent cameo from Trixie for the movie. The fanboys are pleased. Yeah.
Camp Everfree needs a runway.
I will celebrate the day Rarity says something that is not related to fashion.
If I can stay with the light, I know I'll be free. And I can start to be whole. I can start to be me.
Light, who wanted to know everything about magic, who wants to know everything about everything, all of a sudden doesn't want to know nothing.
Dusty, I couldn't have said it better myself. And I really wish I could be showing more of you in this react, but quite frankly, the sync counter is already going up fast enough even without you.
Twilight's first song has some lovely piano in the background, but I'm still not really feeling the lyrics.
Are you kidding me? Are you seriously telling me you could sit through that song and have it not have any sort of impact towards you at all?
Okay, honestly, I'm having goosebumps right now.
That was amazing!
See that? Those are appropriate reactions to hearing that. I will even take these reactions.
This is like a depressing anti-My Past Is Not Today.
I've got nothing. It was a good song.
Consider me hyped!
Thank you. After a whole season of bad or poorly placed songs, it's nice to...
You know, that was a nice song and everything, but realistically, Twilight, they've all...
Because at least they acknowledge the quality of what we just witnessed. But no, you just have to sit there and go like, oh, no, I think the lyrical writing could have been slightly improved. What, pray tell, is wrong with you?
Hut where Twilight and Timber were not anywhere to be found.
This clip is placed about 90 seconds before when it would be appropriate.
Spike. Duh! I was having the best dream.
So many squizzards?
Main series reference.
I really wanted to hang out at the mall. I've never told that to anyone.
Yeah, I hated being Amish, but hey, what can you do?
So you're saying he spent most of his life living in an Amish paradise?
What does it say when it makes more sense to reference the parody than the original?
Just the whole time we were talking.
Well, why didn't you say something?
Oh, come on, Gabe, that line wasn't that bad.
Flirty one-liners, and now the teasing. He is like me!
You'll have to wait a little longer, darling.
I'm loving it.
I have not been able to unhear that, but it's freaking amazing.
Oh my god, Rarity! She's talking about something that's so close! We have a winner! We have a winner! Confetti! Good.
He did say he'd celebrate.
See you later.
This is exactly what I wanted for the Flashlight ship in the first movie. And this kind of chemistry. This is what I wanted to see. And what I'm getting now, kind of.
Rarity, you can trust that Applejack will spot you.
Waiting to do this since we got here. Well, you'll have to wait a little longer, darling.
Might help if you weren't climbing in heels!
Applejack, you almost literally killed me!
Whoa! Look at her necklace, I just noticed!
That, I'm about 80% sure was an honest realization, and I love the fact that that made it in.
That was all! You need more sprinkles, and you need more sprinkles!
Everyone gets sprinkles!
Did she just channel Oprah?
How dare you reference Oprah?
Thanks, Oprah.
if she is, in reality, the Oprah.
That's good Oprah.
For all the people that referenced it, I'm shocked that none of them bothered to actually edit in an Oprah scene. I guess it's up to me then again.
Pinky has bombs! Pinky has bombs!
Hello, bird. What is your name? Toriyama.
Voice, I have no idea how you came up with this theory, but I am so glad you did.
How many hooves am I holding up?
No. I don't care if this is a cartoon. If you run into a wall head first at that type of speed, that's either a serious concussion or you're dead!
Alternatively, you could kind of, Looney Tunes style silhouette your way through it. Are we actually trying to bring real-world physics into this? Because if we are, that is going to bring far more things than just this scene into question.
So basically, all of the characters are now Overwatch characters.
Oh, the chase ahead! I am legitimately surprised that 3 separate people made Overwatch references. Like X-Men, Fantastic Four, Sailor Moon, those make sense, but I suppose Overwatch was a pretty big topic back in 2016, but it's still just such a weird connection to oh yes, you see superpowers. Immediately go to a first-person shooter where only one person really has some sort of mystical abilities. It's I don't know, it's so weird.
Okay, pause for a minute. Am I the only one that wants to see an animated short based on these 2 owls?
You might actually be the only person. I can't think of a single reason why anyone else would want that.
And I'm all out of arrows.
Silence, you abomination of an imposter!
I'll be nice and I'll let you have this one, okay? I mean, anyway, I've got 2 better reactions to deal with.
Debbie said things!
I was oh so excited about the designs I've come up with.
Oh, don't give me that look. You knew it wasn't gonna last.
Then when we like them, mine'll be beautiful and delicious!
And it won't rise into the air because there's too much weight.
Not that it's going to matter anyway. Race, I believe you have something to say about this?
They're complaining about magic happening, but look, these things are floating without a top. Like, heat, top, push, up. No top, no push.
Okay, who else was reminded of Tangled during the floating lantern scene?
Toodles, at the very least.
And at last I see the light, and it's like the sky is new.
Well, for me at least this wouldn't be the first time the Green Lantern did.
Did you guys see it?
No, don't cut away to somebody else. That was comedy gold, and I'm gonna sit here until you acknowledge it.
Sunset said something.
Say that 5 times fast. Sunset said something, 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 sunset said something. I did it!
As impressive as that is, why is a clip from the start of the scene only being shown when we're about to transition?
Stop in the name of the law!
This is my new magic. This is incredible.
So... she's that so Raven?
Understanding someone's motivation after touching their hand versus random visions of the future. No, not even close. Pity points for trying, though.
Oh, shut up. Shut up, Tucker. Shut up.
I don't know who placed a red versus blue reference in here, but I'm very confused by it.
I have the power of flight. I have the power of super speed. I can grow my fingernails on command.
You're mocking as though full-on mind reading is somehow a lame power. It is not.
I still don't think it's a good idea for me to be near the rest of our friends right now. Not until we know why this is happening.
Understood.
Best scene, right here. This is why Sunset is awesome.
Agreed.
What was that?
2 kids gone die tonight! Everfree!
Whoa, talk.
I think we just found our Gaia Everfree.
No, wait! They suspected him. Now he can't be evil.
Damn it, Cell, stop bringing meta-trope knowledge into my horse girl film.
Everyone's being very careful and slow because they're afraid their powers will do something bad, but what's Fluttershy's excuse?
The fact that she has the upper arm strength of a goldfish might have something to do with it.
I can't go any faster! I don't want to end up in the woods again!
Easy solution? Switch jobs.
Well, if you're going to be logical about it...
This is not a hammering.
Correct. What you are doing isn't a hammering motion, if only that's what Rainbow was doing. I am perfectly aware of what you're insinuating here, but all 2.5 people that bring this up seem to ignore the wrist motion. Please make note of the line of her hand and how it goes from here to here. If that is how you actually see that motion happening in real life, well, you just have all of my condolences, really.
Okay, I would just like to point out that Pinkie Pie almost threw a nail bomb at her friends!
You are really testing my patience, Pinkie.
So this is really a meta point, but I've seen both of these guys' content, and for the unaware, they basically have the most opposing opinions on Pinkie that you can possibly get. So whenever it happens that they end up sharing the same sentiments, even if it is just for a short time, it makes me happier than I could possibly express, so just all the points here. All the points right now.
Pinkie, you could have killed us! But I didn't.
You know, I have a spare pair of rubber gloves, as well as a straitjacket in the closet if you want to borrow it. No, I won't say how I got it!
Not gonna stop me from speculating, though. I feel like Midnight Sonata is involved.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure this was exactly my reaction as well.
I will just play my original live reaction to this scene.
More real reactions in this reaction.
It's time for a song.
Oh, sweet Celestia, that's actually pretty awesome. I have to give you that one.
Song's actually about?
What?
She misses being a unicorn.
Oh, it does.
Remember when life was great?
Didn't we already talk about this earlier?
Because the magic's in the music and the music's in me.
Wings Club reference? Yes, I do know what they're actually referencing, but it's called a joke, okay?
Okay, that was pretty awesome.
You know what else is awesome? The fact that this is actually in the video and I didn't have to edit this together.
I really wanted to thank you.
For what?
Oh yes, the ever so loved Brad side story.
How else do you expect to get people to like him, or are you forever anti-Brad?
Come on, Sunset. We used to date. I know when something's bothering you.
I have my doubts about this statement, because she used to be not very open because she was always wearing her megalomaniac facade, so I am not too sure you really got to know her flesh.
While I wouldn't call her old personality a facade, I completely share the sentiment. To be honest, this line is about the only thing that reminded me that they actually did used to date. It's just such an out-of-place addition that they added to the first film to have Flash, of all people, be tied to Sunset's backstory that I frequently forget that it's actually meant to have happened.
You're so much nicer.
Thanks.
Oh, so now that Twilight curved you, you want to get back with your ex again. I respect that.
You know, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I actually like Flash Sentry now. I really do. He's kind and sensitive and smart. He's awesome.
Wait for it.
And he should be dating my OC!
There we go.
Wow! He didn't make it even into the friend zone!
Get it, Flash. Just take what you can get.
The voice sync on this clip.
Cut back to the thing that I did in the other react.
There. We're both unappreciated.
Reactor continuity.
What's going on down there?
I think it's an STD.
Moving on.
Honey, when I'm done with this place, it won't be called Camp Everfree. It'll be called Camp Never Free.
I'm gonna side with the disembodied voice.
Behind on your payments, Gloriosa. I own the land now.
You know, I never really understood why every medium outside of FIM portrays Filthy Rich as a bad guy. I mean, in the show, at worst, he's just an oblivious parent. I'm not really seeing why they have to paint him as the evil businessman here.
Okay, so this is the part I meant when I said I'll get back to it. The idea that Filthy Rich is rewritten as a villain. This particular moment right here could have actually served as the perfect method of keeping his original personality intact, while still keeping him as the driving force for Gloriosa's breakdown. Especially since when you end up looking at the story of the film as a whole, he's actually not in the wrong here. From this conversation, it's made clear that this isn't him trying to push and take something just for the sake of it. The camp, for whatever reason, was loaned as collateral and is in the process of being repossessed. So from the fact that he says he'll give her another week to pay back her loans, it would be the easiest thing on the planet to make it so that he's doing this because he actually feels sympathy and doesn't necessarily want to take her land. But, you know, business is business and payment is payment. It would work really, really well here, so why didn't they do it? Well, from what I can tell, it comes down to the fact that Gloriosa is meant to be the twist villain of the film, and that's actually a pretty big concept here. This moment right here isn't her downfall, it's the culmination of events that started all the way back here. But since all of these events that are being shown in flashbacks are meant to be happening behind the scenes, you can't have the audience suspect that she might indeed be the one involved. And for viewers that don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of writing conventions, or at least those that do and just choose not to use it on the first viewing, like myself, this particular moment where Filthy Rich is vilified at the start of the film helps draw suspicion away from Gloriosa. And while you end up picking up on more details on a rewatch, the reason it still works is because it keeps the characterizations the same. If, in this situation, you portray Filthy Rich as the villain in the first part, and then show him to be sympathetic in this flashback sequence, then the story loses any strength it had because the opening scene isn't just misdirection, it's just straight up lying to you. And that's not a good way to write in a twist. And unfortunately, you do need to write him as an oppressive force here. Since this film also wants to go in a different direction with its antagonists than the last three films, you can't have Gloriosa be initially portrayed as anything but an underdog. Someone who's fighting to have power, rather than someone who is just abusing the power that they have. You need to make it seem like she's struggling in some aspect, and that's just not possible if the person representing the ideas she's standing against is shown to be sympathetic to her plight, because then she's just fighting against someone that clearly doesn't want to fight back. Which in turn ends up making her less sympathetic and much more in line with the previous films. That being said, there is a solution I've heard for this that doesn't come from this reaction, but I want to talk about anyways, and that would be to have Spoiled be the one that confronts Gloriosa at the start. Because really, this scene at the beginning of the film, that is the biggest problem in all of this. Because you need this scene at the beginning to A, imply that something about the camp is in danger, and 2, to imply that Gloriosa is willing to fight for that, which in turn is going to lead into the reveals that happen later. The problem is that while Spoiled works great as an antagonist in her own context, she doesn't really have much of a way to portray that sort of power outside of her family. Her image and visage just screams far too much of a socialite to be seen as a malicious threat here. She's quite like Diamond in that regard. She is technically forceful, but it's a type of forceful that just expects things to be handed to them simply because of their presence. In contrast to the type that's needed in this scenario, which is the type of forceful that is actively trying to take something. It's a very, very different type of threat, where one is just sort of passively always in the back of your mind, and the other is full force confronting you about something at every moment. Which means that really, even Spoiled would be needing a personality change unless they wanted to also bring in a third major new character to act as an antagonist in a series that's designed around acting as an alternate universe. But since it isn't as much of an absolute 180 in personality like they did with Filthy, why did they still not use Spoiled? And unfortunately the only reason I have is physical stereotypes. Just as I was talking about with the idea of Gloriosa being an underdog, Filthy Rich is also just much more of a physical opposite to Gloriosa than Spoiled is, and having a stronger visual difference as well helps further the impression of opposites being in conflict. I'm not saying it's a solution I like in any particular way, but I do unfortunately understand the logic behind it. What was the point of the speech again?
You were using magic all over the place. I had to tell them something to cover for you.
Let me see if I get this straight. So, Timber made up this story for campers so they'd have something to blame whenever anything weird was happening? Some sort of preemptive covering for Gloriosa because he knew beforehand that she'd inevitably make things worse? I don't get it.
How? That was literally 1-for-1 the exact wording you needed to explain what was happening. What part of that doesn't make sense? What part of that is illogical? How could you possibly not understand what is going on here? It is so simple. Just repeat back what you just said, but, let's maybe try it in a different order. Timber was worried that his sister's actions would draw unwanted attention, so he made up a story to keep attention away from her in the case that something ended up happening. Nothing about that sentence is illogical or confusing. Why I am so passionate about this, I don't know. Probably because I am 100% certain that this is a character motivation that this show's intended target of 10-year-olds could understand, and yet the full-grown man whose literal job involves talking about storylines doesn't seem to get the blading obvious. You know what? I'm just not going to bother anymore. Just rack up the sin points and let's move away. Okay? Alright.
So, what exactly was Sunset doing during this entire vision?
Like, is she just standing there like...
So, how long was Sunset standing there?
Wouldn't that be a little weird for everyone else? That Sunset Shimmer is just standing there touching her like this?
Yeah, so, she's been holding my arm while standing motionless for the past 2 minutes,
Bro, she's been like holding on to her arm for like 5 minutes. Gloriosa's...
Oh, sweet Celestial Virgin Virgin. How is it possible that I seem to be the only person who is currently watching this film that had an almost instinctual level of understanding that no matter how long the exposition goes for in real time, Sunset just gets all of it in an instant? That is her power. Her power is to understand the motivations of someone, so when she grabs someone, she just knows everything that she needs to know to understand them. It's only us, as the audience, that needs the full time limit to witness everything. To me, that was just so obvious. Am I wrong in that interpretation? Just, again, why do I seem to be the only semi-intelligent person around here? What is going on?
Wow, this have been nearly 2.5 minutes of straight out plot summary exposition. This entire thing should have been like half a minute maximum.
Well, let's see how that works out. Honestly, I think the full version is better.
He was talking about you letting go of the magical geodes.
They're not geodes. Geodes are hollow rocks.
How do you know they're not?
And they aren't even geodes.
Oh, okay, never mind. Maud said it. It must be true.
Too much of it can be dangerous if you can't control it. Oh, I got this.
This isn't directly related to either of the videos, but I am just so bummed out that no one ever seems to acknowledge that moment as the first time she said that line in another context.
Sorry, girl. She became a World of Warcraft villain. Seriously, I don't know anything about Warcraft. Don't ask me.
Then why do you keep bringing it up?
And Gloriosa becomes ever more unbalanced because she doesn't have friends, apparently? Basically, this movie is telling me that any power you yield will eventually lead to corruption if you don't keep your friends as a priority in your life. I guess that works for the most part, as long as you don't think too hard about it.
Why am I back with this guy? No, she's becoming more unstable because she's failing. In case you somehow missed the flashback sequence that every single other person just watched, when she tries using her powers to help the students, it ends up going wrong. And with the deadline getting closer to time up, she's mistakenly believing that the reason things are going wrong isn't because she's doing the wrong thing, but rather that she just isn't powerful enough to do it right. It's got nothing to do with friends, nor is it a case that power inherently corrupts. It's the idea that the allure of power can lead some people to go too far, especially when they're afraid. It's basically the exact type of thing that caused Midnight in the last film, except that this time it's an internal pressure to be in control rather than the external pressure trying to control you. Need I remind you, this is your job! How are you so bad at this?
Why does every evil chick in this world look the same? It's not like in the real world every evil chick looks like Hillary Clinton.
Totally not touching that one.
That's right, girls, and if you are ever given the gift of extraordinary powers, ignore them or be constantly terrified of them, because if you are confident and willing to use them, it means that you're a crazy psycho that will doom us all.
Point 1.
Girls, we can't just brush these powers aside because it doesn't seem like the ideal time to get them.
Seriously, this should be all the explanation I need as to why that makes no sense right now. Point 2. I couldn't help but notice you missed a few frames in the re-upload.
Oh no, they're dead.
Told you you'd like it.
Does Applejack's shirt have a boob window? What?
And yet it still shows less cleavage than the opening of Friendship Games.
She looks different.
Yeah, she looks taller.
She's not taller. She's a demon.
I mean, nothing's stopping her from being taller and a demon.
I know she's about to wreak havoc on the entire camp, but she's still kinda fine.
I am kind of missing the "I will let you out later" line here, so I hope she really doesn't forget about those two girls she just imprisoned in a cave.
I'm sorry, are you under the impression that she somehow cares at this point?
Sorry, I had flashback to something awful.
Hey, say what you will about that comic. The Dear Civilization was actually pretty cool. I haven't actually read the comics myself yet, but I have seen a man in a fedora read them, so, you know, close enough.
Now the magic is my salvation. Gather close in my protection.
That doesn't rhyme.
Asian, action, it's perfectly close enough for a half rhyme. Could have used a bit of a twang in the accent to help, but, you know, still perfectly workable.
What are you gonna do with that axe?
He grabs the axe? I thought he was gonna murder her!
What, in the middle of her villain song? How rude could you get?
Who knew Spitfire had such good pipes?
Wait, what? Really? Huh. No, how about that?
I'm just gonna add that song to my favorites list.
I only wish we had time to make superhero capes!
Meta Man, express elevator, splashdown, sucked into a vortex. No capes.
Oh!
Bad frame editing.
Can she only, like, explode sprinkles? Or is it anything? I don't get it.
It's only things that have a high level of sugar content. What, are you seriously saying you want her to blow up everything she touches? That is not a safe state of affairs.
Dang, Applejack just sees a hole and just shoves her wood into it.
Was that somehow clean enough to get through your ding counter, guys?
Twilight, we need your magic.
Twilight, you have to use your magic.
Yay for predictions.
Trigger!
That's my reaction to that word these days.
She just went from threatening to campy in one sentence.
Didn't that happen like 3 minutes ago?
But I got this!
Point of note, Gabe has just watched a full half hour of this film without finding something that he's hated.
Okay, the phrase...
Bad frame editing. Again. Seriously, why is it so hard to cut around a guy in a Sailor Moon costume?
You can use your magic to pull the brambles apart.
So can AJ and Pinky. Not everything is about Twilight.
Technically, yes, but it's not really on the same scale, so basically it is down to Twilight.
So Fluttershy's not on Twitter, but clearly Gloriosa's on Vine.
Please, Gloriosa, come back! I need you!
Gloriosa! I need to fix this, but I can't do it without you. And after we're done, you can hate me. And that'll be fine. Because I was a horrible brother.
For being a direct quoting of the film he's currently dressed as, that was actually a really good performance. Golf claps all around. Nice going, Race.
Yep. Definitively a metaphor for puberty.
Well then where did my black wings and glowing eye go? Feel left out.
I have the weirdest boner right now.
Now, that thing's been sticking up this whole... Oh, wait, that's just your suit, isn't it?
So, the gems are the elements of harmony? The 7?
There's actually a few people who have made the connection between the gems and the elements. It's not like I can blame them. I mean, the similarities are, right there. That being said, if you look at the actual power set they have, you can kind of relate things like speed and strength being related to loyalty and honesty, but then you get to having laughter being linked to blowing up sugar candy, and that's just a little bit worrying if you're assuming that those are the same thing. So I've never considered them to be partners to the elements, they're just magic that just happen to be linked to the same people because, well, protagonist powers. And you know what? I'm suddenly rather sad that Human Trixie and Derpy didn't end up getting magic. Poor girls just can't ever catch a break outside of fan service, can they?
New from Hasbro, it's the Mighty Morphin Sailor Scouts of Equestria! Now with 20% sharper shoulders!
You think they're getting sold that cheap?
I've gotta say, those outfits are terrible.
Have you by chance consulted a mirror lately?
DB called, they said your number of level ups were getting ridiculous.
They've had 2. The powers in the last films were exactly the same. They were just, you know, more frequent.
Oh, God, it tastes like marketing!
Shifted over to the Equestria Girls universe.
There was definitely a previous part of the sentence that was edited out.
We've been Sailor Moon for a very long time now.
Cut away, cut away! Damn it.
Totally go with the other collection I was working on for the camp fashion show!
What have they done to you?
I think that's the first time that plush hasn't had any lines.
She's still talking about her fashion show. This is for you, Rarity. Don't read too much into that.
You had a perfectly good chess piece to take off. If you didn't want me reading into that, you shouldn't have done it.
I know I'm writing my own song.
Pumping, yo. That's just impressive.
And actually, you can make explosive with sprinkles. You just need an oxidizer that will allow them to burn quickly enough. Potassium nitrate's a really good one.
Homemade bomb advice from the guy sitting next to an entire arsenal. How has YouTube allowed this to stay up?
Rarity can just make diamonds now? She's gonna tank the Earth's economy.
Yeah, it's probably quartz. That stuff is freaking everywhere.
I would be one of those guys. Most likely bulk biceps.
I myself would probably be filthy rich. As in, walking out of the party, just hating everybody.
And for helping us raise enough money to save Camp Everfree!
It's funny, I know I make jokes about people having dirty minds and stuff like that. So then, when we get to this scene, and I get confused as to why no one's commented on what I'm seeing. Because, you know, Gloriosa's underdress is a similar color to her skin, and this particular fabric ripple is directly on her body's action line, so, yeah, I'm just as bad as the rest of them.
Pretty cool how I saved all those campers from those rubus fruticosus.
Actually, it's Mindy Campum Holly Sithios.
I appreciate including the massive number of bloopers that it took to get that line right.
Maybe get dinner and catch a movie?
Yeah.
Now watch the fandom get mad because someone stole their waifu.
This fandom gets mad when non-canon ships steal their waifu. This is nothing special.
I really like that.
Thirst levels at maximum!
God damn it, stop it.
Shit!
No! Notice the complete dichotomy on display right now. But would he be stripping if they did kiss? That is a weird freaking sentence.
Aw, come on! I mean, this is the first hetero ship I'm actually on board with.
Excuse me? How dare you not be on board with Derpy Dog?
First of all, isn't this the most amazing freeze frame in the entire movie?
I am a child.
Second, how old are Timber and Gloriosa again?
Official word from the director says... So, yeah, you've got 17, 18, and just over 16-ish. That's actually really not that bad. That's just a, you know, general high school crush, really.
Where did the magic that hit this cave come from?
Yes! Yes! This is a question! The portal thingy? Oh, I smell sequel.
And immediate mood change from excited to exasperated.
Out of everything in this entire film, it's the hook for Equestria Girls 5 that finally gets me invested into this series again.
You seem to be under the impression that I somehow care about your opinion after everything else.
Timber wasn't lying. A true Picasso of macaroni art.
Oh my gosh! Look at the macaroni picture of Twilight and Love Bug. Oh. No Twilight left behind! No Twilight left behind!
Thank you for the cut there. I like gay, but not in that way.
We may rag on Celestia and Luna being useless in the first 3 movies, but you know your character was useless when you find yourself listed under guest voice performers.
Well, yeah, they had like 3 lines each. Why on earth would you give them main billing in that case?
That the runway is finished. I think you mean the dock. Oh, tomato, tomato.
Kiss already!
Ah, there's someone else that's going to be liking Roller Coaster of Friendship. Well, someone had to do it.
Somehow this is Rarity's fault.
This was done in ending gag right.
Okay, okay.
What was that editing?
I'm very, very disappointed.
Didn't you hear me last time?
I kind of enjoyed it.
Was it so bad?
No.
Nah, yeah, you're right. It was pretty good.
Hey, an opinion that's in the React video and not in the bonus features.
Either way, I am glad this is over. Oh my god. I can barely breathe in this thing, let alone talk. Hope no one realizes I was just dubbing over all my reactions.
Oh, Deadpool, you were freaking amazing.